Welcome to Financial Confidence for High-Achieving Women, the go-to podcast for women of color entrepreneurs overwhelmed by their finances and ready to transform their money mindset, take control of their money, and build sustainable wealth. I'm your host, Taryn, better known as T-Money, certified financial coach and CEO of Money Honey LLC. I believe that abundance is your birthright and that good money management doesn't mean cutting out the joy from your life. Stick around to learn how you can build intentional money habits that align with your biggest lifestyle goals. Let's get into today's episode. Money is one of the top reasons couples fight, and one of the main reasons friendships drift apart. But it doesn't have to be that way. Whether you're splitting bills with your partner, planning a trip with friends, or just trying to be honest about what you can afford, money conversations are a key part of financial confidence. Welcome to the Financial Confidence for High-Achieving Women podcast. I'm your host, Taryn, better known as T-Money, and in today's episode, I'm breaking down how to have open, judgment-free money talks that build trust instead of tension. And I'll share how one of my bridesmaids taught me a powerful lesson about honesty and respect when it comes to money boundaries. If you've been avoiding money conversations because you don't know where to start, this is exactly what we work on inside the Wealth Alignment Assessment. Together, we'll help you find your voice and your language for money. The link is in the show notes. Money conversations feel hard, y'all. Let's just keep it 100 real quick, okay? Money is the number one source of stress in relationships, and most people weren't taught how to talk about money, only how to feel about it. Think about the times that you saw, people in your life growing up having conversations about money. Many times it could have been some tension. It could have been a very peaceful situation. Maybe the conversations they had about money with you were about how to pay bills or how to, work your budget or things like that. But outside of that, we're not really taught how to tell others what is going on when it comes to money. So there's some common patterns that we see here. One is avoidance. If you're, the I don't want to fight about it. They're the person who's like, I'm going to go find something else to do instead of talk about money. Next is delegation. So one partner handles it all. Now this is the one, okay? This is the one where I'm like, we need to make sure there is a conversation. Even if you're the person who doesn't want to get into all of the finances and you don't want to do all of the spreadsheets or you don't want to organize the money, I get it. And that's totally okay. But make sure that you know about it. Make sure you know what's happening with the finances. The other common pattern is silence between friends. So pretending you can afford what you cannot. And this is what gets us into this space of guilt and shame. And a lot of what I do focuses on how money conversations could prevent a lot of those feelings, because when we are open and honest about what's going on with our money, we are able to, confidently make those choices that build more wealth. And we're also able to have deeper and stronger relationships. This is the big inspiration, honestly, behind the Rich Bish Brunch event. I wanted to create that space where women could come together and talk about money, talk about what's going on. Even at our most recent brunch, we were talking about what it looks like to buy a house right now in this market. And, those of us who bought recently, we're chiming in. Those who are thinking about it, they're chiming in. We had talked about some saving strategies. We talked about credit card points and, what that looks like and how we make that happen. And when we have these conversations, one, we can start to make better choices, but also we feel like we can breathe. There's that relief that comes from I'm not alone in this. And since we don't always talk about money, it can be very easy to feel like you're alone, like you're dealing with everything that is coming your way, by yourself. And that is not the case. So many people are dealing with similar things, but since we're not talking about it, we're not able to work through it. And so let's get into how to start the conversation. Now this is important because I think when we do talk about having what could be tough or difficult conversations, our first thing is, what do we talk about, right? But I want you to take it back. I want you to choose the right time to talk about it. Okay? In the middle of the argument is not the time. I know. I know. Okay? You feel the heat coming on, wanting to get this off your chest and say what you need to say, but I promise you, in high emotional states are not the time to have these conversations about money, especially if you know that there could be some tension that could be caused there. Okay? Or even at like when you're checking out, at the grocery store or, at dinner when the check comes, that's not the right time either. All right. We want to have these conversations in like the spaces before we're making the spending decisions and when everyone is ideally in an emotionally neutral space. So nobody is feeling too low. No one is feeling too excited, anything like that, right? We want or activated. But either way, we want to have this conversation as neutral as possible. Next, I encourage you to lead with curiosity. So, saying things like, I'd love to get on the same page about our goals. Or what did money look like for you growing up? Just kind of asking questions versus making assumptions is very important here when you're having the conversations around your finances with the people you love. Now, I know these two are a bit more on the, like the partner side, but when we're thinking about conversations with our friends, we can frame it as transparency and not limitations. And with these, I encourage you as well to, instead of focusing on putting the attention or the blame or the uh just the thoughts on the other person, I want you to use a lot of I statements here. So that could look like, hey, I'm being more intentional with my budget. These are the type of hangouts I can do right now. Or this is how often I'm able to, go to dinner this month or whatever it is. Start with what you can do and offer that up instead of deciding for the both of you like what's about to happen. That that doesn't always land well. Okay? So make sure you come from like, this is what I can do, this is what I'm available for, this is what I have the capacity to do. Now, for a little story, because y'all know I love a good story. So one of my bridesmaids, when I was planning my wedding, told me up front what she could comfortably afford. And she was like, I want to support you, but here's what I can realistically contribute. And you know what? Like, I respected her even more for it. Like, she was already my girl, of course, but I really appreciated her pulling me to the side and saying that because, of course, I want her to be a part of my special day. And I'd much rather she just be honest than disappear because she felt embarrassed. And so that conversation built more trust between us. And that's what financial honesty really does. That's how we're able to deepen those relationships. So let's get into building some transparency and some teamwork. Schedule regular money dates. So y'all know we had the episode on money dates, okay? So make sure that you go back and review though that episode. This one is more so about the like your partner, so the person you're dating, but still good to reference, and that's episode 5. So make sure you go back and check that one out. So you want to schedule those regular money dates with your partner, with your friends, if you need to, with yourself. I do mine once a week. I have a great time. I have a Dr. Pepper. We're good to go. The next thing is you want to use shared systems. So this is good if you're doing this with your partner, spouse, all those things. This is where you have expense apps that you're using or budgeting apps, a joint goals list, And, you can even have like a transparency board here. But the idea is that either one of you could access the information whenever you need to, especially about everything that is joint and together. And, you're able to check on what's going on with the finances. This is not a time for secrecy. Okay. This is time to be open and transparent about what's going on, so that way you could also support each other and work towards your goals together. And so remember, disagreement does not equal disaster. It is just data. Okay. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Disagreement does not equal disaster. It is just data. It is just information. All right. We are just looking at it to see what is going on. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's then about, can we come to a healthy compromise? Can we come to a space where, we both are cool? And sometimes it's about like, can we agree to disagree? And that's totally okay as well. That's just something, to keep in mind as you're having these conversations. And I want you to reframe the sense that these conversations are awkward into intimacy. Okay. These are intimate conversations because sharing financial truth is essentially sharing your values. It's sharing the things that are important to you. And so it's not awkward. It's just deep. All right. It's just an intimate conversation. And that intimacy builds trust. It builds reliability. It just deepens your relationships, whether those are friendships or romantic relationships. And if money talks do make you anxious, you're not alone. And that's why inside the Wealth Alignment Assessment, we uncover your money communication style and create language that makes these conversations feel safe and productive. So let's recap it up. Today, we talked about why money conversations are so uncomfortable, how to start them with curiosity instead of criticism, and how being honest about your limits actually builds trust. Now for our action step, I want you to pick one person, a partner, a friend, or a family member, and schedule a short money date this week. Ask open-ended questions, listen, okay, and share one financial goal or boundary of your own. And I would love to hear how that goes. So whether you want to share that by tagging me in your stories, or you just want to send me a DM to tell me how that conversation goes, please do. I would love to hear about it. And if you want to communicate about money without anxiety or guilt, book a wealth alignment assessment with me. We'll identify your communication triggers and build a framework that makes money feel easy and empowering. The link is in the show notes. And next week, I am sharing one of my most personal stories I have ever told. We're going to talk about what financial abuse really looks like, how to spot the red flags, and how I rebuilt my confidence after it. And so with that, I will catch you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Financial Confidence for High Achieving Women podcast. I hope the insights shared in this episode have inspired you to take one small action step toward a more empowered relationship with money. If you're ready to take control of your finances like the rich bitch you are, I invite you to book a 90-minute Organize Your Money Honey intensive with me. You'll walk away with a crystal clear financial plan, a budget you'll actually stick to, and actionable steps to start saving and investing faster. Head to the link in the show notes to book your spot. I'm so grateful to be part of your financial journey, and I can't wait to see all the incredible moves you'll make. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.